In the white part is the milk, and the brown
That's
part.
milk.
Oh,
Yes.
there's milk in your
Do you
opinion.
have
Yes.
Coke there?
Yes. Coming more females, the artists or collectors, or even the art education.
They put the title like young female
artist.
beauty, like what artist? Oh,
That we're fighting the same battles and the same
Yeah.
struggles.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Crossover. I'm Ji Xiaojun.
Hello everyone, I'm Louisa Lee.
Now, you've been living in Beijing for a while.
For 8 months so
8
far.
months already, so you should know pretty much, well, much enough about the city of Beijing. So what would be the words that would pop out in your mind about Beijing?
I
to
think it's a
describe
very
Beijing?
vibrant city.
Okay.
You know, I love art and I feel like the art scene here in Beijing is growing and exploding. And
It's because you know the theme of this episode.
also, yes.
You're talking about art, and then really Beijing is the city of art because we have Meet in Beijing Arts Festival. We also have Art Beijing, that's an art fair, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about
And
today.
that one has been around for 12 years.
Exactly.
And this time around has attracted a lot of people to come
Lots
to this
of
event.
figures, lots of numbers to share
Okay.
with us.
This
So,
extravaganza
visitors?
attracted
Visitors?
100,000 people.
100,000?
Okay, more than 160 art
Okay.
galleries and organizations
Okay.
participated.
Great memories. and what about deals? How many deals? How many deals?
96% of the people made deals.
96%.
Yes.
Well, we have to check it out because we have our artists joining us in the studio. Welcome.
Welcome to Crossover.
Welcome to Crossover. We have Cindy.
Yes.
Cindy is now based in Beijing.
Yes.
But you're actually from
Macau.
Macau.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Eva.
hi everybody.
Hello.
All
Welcome to
right.
the show.
I'm from China.
You're
I'm
from China.
Chinese.
You're from
Very
the mainland.
proud of my country.
Okay, and can I say that you're the youngest? It's always nice to know that, right?
Okay, but I don't think number is a problem.
That's not an
Yeah.
issue. Yeah,
Yeah,
but still
not
you're
an
the
issue.
youngest.
Okay.
And we have Kathy.
Yes.
Kathy is from.
Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, from the United States, and
United
you're
States.
here attending the Beijing Art Fair, or you're here for some other missions too?
I also attended the Art Beijing, which was fabulous. It was a great combination of traditional and contemporary art, I thought. But I'm here on a cultural grant through the U.S. State Department. Linda and I both
Yes.
All right.
are, for the Give Voice to Women Through the Arts at the World Academy for Women at CEOS University.
Say that again. Give voice
to women
Okay.
through the arts.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shut up and.
It's going to be art discussion.
You're not a woman.
That's right.
And Linda.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona also, and I'm here on the cultural grant also. And we just spent 5 weeks in Zhengzhou, but we were able to come to Beijing, to Art Beijing, and that was fabulous.
So you've all attended the art fair,
Yes.
Yes.
Art Beijing. This is the 12th year, but is it your first time?
No, not my first time.
Not your first time, because you're based in Beijing
Yes,
anyway, yeah.
I'm based here 9 years. Almost every year I go to visit, or my work is showing there. This year I attending my work to be there, showing the video and the paintings.
Right.
And last year I do a charity activities, showing the kids, teaching the kids art and showing the kids work
All
at the
right.
at the fair. Yeah. So different years. Sometimes I
yeah.
attend and sometimes I didn't attend.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of this year's art fair?
It seems that they put more effort at the design part and combine the contemporary art and the classical art together. Yeah, I see them
Yeah.
changing almost every year.
From buyer's perspective, I think it's very convenient and efficient.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can see a lot of works at the same time and many galleries. It's kind of like a supermarket.
Like a supermarket.
Oh, yeah, right.
Art
From-
supermarket, why not?
Yeah.
And a big party at the same time.
A big party too.
Yeah. You can see everybody in the art circle.
Okay.
Yeah, and from painter's perspective, I think it's like very crowded and busy, right?
So how was the experience for you both?
Well, I noticed there were quite a few young people attending as well, and I thought the artwork was comparable to any of the big art fairs around the world. I was really impressed with the work, but I could feel the common thread of the Chinese culture running through the work, and I thought it was very impressive.
It was amazing because it was really, I've been to some art fairs where a lot of the modern art now is a lot of conceptual art and a lot of art that is very, you don't really know what you're looking at. And this one really seemed to be based on beauty, which I really loved because they really brought the traditional thread back in. And it had a lot of scroll work and old mixed with new. And I just really thought it was really beautiful. I was very impressed. I'm the flying lemons.
Oh, I like that one. The flying lemons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Louise obviously says this is feminine, not feminine, but
I
it's
see from the
created by a
colors,
female
like warm
artist. Right?
colors, vibrant colors.
It's so
usually.
obvious.
Yeah.
That's Eva's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Is that a cigarette or a needle?
It-
If it is a cigarette, as I see it, Kathy says it.
Yeah, whatever you see.
And this is also Eva's.
yeah,
Louisa
self-portrait.
says it's a women's body. And that's Cindy's.
Yeah.
Cindy was just explained to us. I mean, it looks to us like this is traditional Chinese ink painting. But actually, before we started taping, I had the time to actually touch it, see it very close. It's not the ink painting that we see daily all the time.
It's not the traditional style ink painting.
It's
right?
actually, it's not. I was surprised, actually, to be honest, to find this is actually print work.
Yes.
It's not a real ink painting, as
Yeah.
I would understand an
Yeah.
ink painting would be.
Well, it's different concept. Okay. I do the ink painting in the, I based on traditional idea. It is aesthetic of the Song Dynasty, the concept, and using the contemporary and the modern way to express the technique or the mode. And I put the ink on paper, on canvas, video. Now you see is a photograph and a theater. So just try to put the limit of the ink, how ink can goes, because ink in the Chinese culture for 5,000 years and how change now. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
So it's a mix of
Yeah.
traditional and contemporary technique because
Yeah.
like it's also a bit abstract to me. It's almost like
Yeah.
abstract art, but using like a traditional art style, right?
You're not just using only ink.
Yes,
It's
besides
everything.
things,
It's-
besides things, you can see something that everyone you are using or drinking. In the white part is the milk, and the brown
That's
part.
milk.
Oh, you
Yes.
use milk in your
Do
painting.
you have
Yes.
Coke there?
Yes. Well, I tried everything, everything that I can
Coffee?
drink.
How about coffee?
Coffee too?
Okay, I start
Coffee
with
is
coffee. I start with coffee.
Oh, you started with coffee.
I start with
Yeah.
coffee.
All right.
And I start with coffee, not with photograph first. I start with coffee with video. I take video, and then I start work on video 2005. For the first step, I just use the black and white, is color, but just black and white ink and the water. But afterwards, I found one day there's a cappuccino at the refrigerator you cannot drink. So whether I throw it away or I throw it to my painting. And then I throw it to at the camera, under the camera, the coffee becomes a desert or something there in a river. Yeah. So at that moment, I try to use all kinds of drink that I can find in the supermarket again. And
So indeed, this is a supermarket.
She agreed with
real
me,
one.
you know.
See.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because the upper part looks more traditional Chinese ink painting, and the
The bottom part is like more
it's more like, I don't know,
Yeah.
impressionist or.
Yeah. More abstract.
So, what do you think, Kathy, of this?
Well,
New.
I think it looks very contemporary, but yet traditional.
Yeah.
And I had no idea it was, coffee and wine.
Made of
and milk.
food and
That's
beverages.
right.
And
Yes, they're quite beautiful.
are they commission works or basically, or where do you actually, where can we see them, these paintings?
Well, actually, I do some commission works, something like a hotel, hospital, public spaces or museums. 2 years before, I did a commission work for hospital. Yeah, hospital supposed is the video
Yeah.
showing the hospital work.
Okay.
They commission me for work. One is the video, and three is the something like this. But they're looking for more colorful things. And actually, before I do the commission work, they asked me, Cynthia, I like the mood that you are doing in the black and white. But if black and white putting in the hospital is make the patients or the mood.
You want something more colorful,
Yeah,
more
they want
cheerful, right?
cheerful things to cheer the
The
patient up.
patients, yeah.
I said, okay, fine, I try my best.
This is more like for public art.
It's the public art.
Public
yeah,
art.
It's the public art.
Do you also, ladies,
Have you
also
done
do
any
public art?
I do, but
yes.
it's we call public
Yeah.
art a little different.
Yes.
We have artwork that we put in public spaces, and then
Spaces.
there's public art
Right.
where it's usually sculpture and it's big outdoor work. But
So,
yeah, I do a lot
yes.
of actually work for kind of hotels and restaurants. I've just begun to
See.
start doing that.
And Kathy too?
Yes, well, we both are
Yeah.
showing at one of the
This
new
art
hotels
boutique
downtown
hotel.
in Scottsdale.
So public
or
art is
Phoenix.
pretty much art in the public,
Right.
for the public,
Yes.
of the public? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
If you see it that way.
Right. Eva, is it for public or
No, I
It's
don't
not.
do public art.
you don't do?
Yeah, I do some commission portraits.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why, make it for living. 90% of my customers are foreigners.
See?
It's weird.
So
It's
information
weird.
is correct, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do you think that's the case? Do you think it's the subject that you choose to draw, or
Because you know the language to communicate with them?
Yeah, I
Maybe.
think that's one
of the reasons?
Yeah, reasons.
What do you normally draw about?
Basically, what customer wants. For example, if you want a portrait of your son or daughter, yeah,
Okay.
they will come to me.
That's interesting.
so you do your
Yeah.
work, but you also take requests from your customers as
Yes, yes, yes.
So you have customers first and then you have your works.
Yes, they send me the pictures. It's called Facebook painting or commission portraits.
But what about yourself? And do you have anything that
Sure.
you want to paint yourself?
of course.
What are they?
For example, I had a solo show last year in 78, and all of my work, I just say, if you take a look of them, you won't think that's a young female artist work.
Mm-hmm.
I know you
Yeah.
do some realism pieces, right?
Yeah.
She likes
yeah.
to paint like a scene, like a state of mind, and also like a scenery or like something that's occurring right now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's basically the ideas I got. It's from my daily life, and I got really touched by their lives. So I took picture first, then I record them on the canvas.
Yeah, that's really you. or
Not
you
not
or
that
someone
type of
taking a-
painting.
enjoying a cigarette.
Okay.
Kathy and Linda, what about you? And what would be your favorite subjects?
Well, my favorite subject is a horse, of course.
As we can see,
A
right?
horse, of course.
Always a horse. You know,
Yes.
we have actually at least one painter who is extremely famous for painting horses. You know who that is?
I've heard of him.
All right.
I don't know the name right
Xu
now.
Beihong.
but Yes.
Xu Beihong as
Yes.
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
painter. Yeah.
You know, the most influential artists of throughout history always have a very distinctive style.
Or
have a-
Qi
or-
for prawns.
Or you have a common theme that runs through their art painting. And is that the case for most of the artists here?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, because you draw horses, and how about
Right.
you?
Actually, I do. I've changed a lot in the respect. I have a similar vision, but I do different things over time because I keep trying. I do digital photography and painting and mixed media. This was actually, most of my work before that was all sepia toned, brown toned, and I wanted to bring more color into it. And I wanted to also bring some whimsy into it because my work's always like I want to just touch you from the heart and pull on those heartstrings. And then I love the idea of these flying lemons as kind of, it's called Flock of Lemons.
You sure it's not from Harry Potter? Everything is flying, right?
Yeah, that's right,
With the
exactly.
broom.
Yeah, the Quidditch or whatever it is.
Anyway, we're going to take a break, but before the break, I just have a question out of curiosity. Just look the way you're dressed today. what's the dress code for a female artist? Is it always, you know,
Like
blue,
neutral colors,
black,
right?
dark, you know, white, gray, and, you know, no colors. And you're talking
I
about, you know, paintings and colors. No colors at all.
We have too much colors every day. Too much.
So-
They
You
use the
know.
colors in their paintings, right?
I just hope this is just a coincidence.
It's not.
Yeah, you know, it so happens we are being
also,
arty today.
yeah.
All right, let's take a break.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching CGTN Crossover. We'll be right back.
Future is coming more females, artists or collectors or even the art education.
Doing art as a profession, you have to do it with your heart and soul because you're not going to usually make a lot of money
I think
still.
it's just easier for the man to focus on that career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not be distracted by anything else. Where
Yeah.
women have to think of many
Taking care of
other things.
household. Welcome back to the show.
And welcome back to Crossover. So today we're talking about, well, we're here joined in the studio by
Four female
four
artists.
artists. They happen to be all female artists, you know. Well, let's talk about this. I mean, just out of curiosity, maybe again, just like the dress code, because today it's like 100% female artists, but at the same time we're seeing more male artists in the art world. I mean, whenever we involve an artist in a regular program, most likely it will be a male artist. And maybe not just in the art world, not in just in the painting world, even, I don't know, in modern dance, it will be a male dancer. So why is it happening?
As a female artist, and I think that these years or coming years is a good years for female artists. For the history, for the past art world is a man world, or maybe down to the history, this is a man world. But for the coming years or the futures, more female artists, more female collectors. Yeah, I think though with the education and though with the economic going better, and I think more female artists, according to the psychology, the female brain is more sensitive more than men. The future is coming more females, artists or collectors or even the art education. Yeah, female will pay more attention to the art, this part.
I agree with Cindy, just said it's a man word.
It's a man's world.
Yeah, it's a man's word. Actually, the truth is, it's not just in art field.
Yeah.
The truth is, women are not making it at the top of any profession anywhere in the world.
Why is it happening like that? Even with
it's-
chefs, right? At home,
the
it's the women
truth.
cooking, but in restaurants, it's all guys.
I think it's deep down we all know one thing. The thing is, which is the success and the likability, is very positively correlated for men, but it's negative for women.
I guess society as a whole is like that, but you
Okay.
see people are trying to change the fact.
Yeah,
Trying to change this path also in
Yes.
the art world.
Yeah, Kathy?
I think as the role for women changes, and I'm probably one of the oldest artists in this group here, I've seen a lot of change, since the 60s, and being from the West, the women now are beginning to take their place as leaders in the art world. They still don't command the money or the prices that the men do, but I believe that's changing, and we're uniting more and supporting each other, and I think that really helps.
You mentioned the 60s. That's when the women's movement
Yes,
was
the feminist art
ongoing at
movement.
the
right
time.
in the West, and
Yeah.
that was our big push for women to gain independence and to break out of that role of being a wife and just a mother and pursuing our own dreams and goals.
Things have changed after that?
Yes,
But
yes.
does that mean, talking about the women's movement, you've heard of Half the Sky?
Is held up.
We even, exactly,
Not
I mean,
really.
Yeah.
we
No.
say, I don't know if there's Chairman Mao's quotation or not, but basically we're saying Men occupies half the sky, women occupies the other half. We even have a program at CCTV, Half the Sky.
Oh, I know that program.
See?
Yeah,
It's
Chinese.
focusing on women. 半边天,
Okay, yeah.
focusing
Talk about
on
equality,
women
right?
issues.
Okay.
Exactly. So, do you also, as Chinese, do you also feel, I mean, the changes taking place concerning women's social status, not necessarily after 60s, but roughly the
Yeah.
same time,
Yeah,
actually
right.
50s and
Yeah.
60s.
Well,
Well,
We have
give
we
you
have
the
an art movement in
Yeah.
the West. How about here in
Right.
China? Do you have something
Yeah.
like that? Or similar?
I think recent 3 years, I see the art world is changing. It's more focused on the female artist work, especially last year in Shanghai, doing a very big show in the museum, all focused on the females art, how female artists see the world. Yeah.
see.
Yes.
So it's not in the past decades, it's just past 3 years. It's happening,
Maybe
according to your observation.
according to my observation is
Yeah.
I've been here 2008 is a men arts world, but now it's changing 15, 3 or 5 years.
So we're just starting
Yes,
our
it's
women's
changing.
movement.
Yes.
Well,
I think so. I see
you know,
that.
I really feel that there's been a lot of change in the West, and about obviously there was a lot of women's issues that were covered, and women felt very kind of put down and that they weren't considered equal, and so they did a lot of very gender-based art and really celebrating the feminine, and so it was very obviously female, and I think we've gotten beyond that in the West. We've actually gotten where we can now paint whatever we want to paint. We're not feeling so focused on having to paint gender issues.
Yes.
But I think the problem with female artists, doing art as a profession, you have to do it with your heart and soul because you're not going to usually make a lot of money. You have to do it because it's your passion.
True.
And what's hard is women's role usually is bringing up the children and nurturing, and so it's hard to have that person as the main person, and then usually when a male artist does it, the wife or the girlfriend is much more supportive, where it's a lot harder when a female artist does it and she's all there alone, and the male isn't usually wanting to say, oh, I'll cook dinner and I'll do this and I'll do that, so.
So it's, you can be an artist, but at the same time, the traditional role that a woman's supposed to be take
It's
will-
kinda
will-
still
will be
there,
still
right?
on
Yeah,
your shoulders,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it's biological.
Right. We're wired up differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you mean, when you mention women being artists are not going to make a lot of money?
Well, that's not necessary. I mean, it's just that you don't go into art to necessarily make money. You go into art because you love it.
It's out of your own interest.
Yes, and if you happen to make money and you can figure out how to do that, great. But
Eva,
it's,
great.
it's not something that, in the 80s when there was Julian Schnabel and all these artists that were making, just hundreds of thousands of dollars for gluing plates on canvases. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, I want to be an artist because I want to be a millionaire." And that's
I
not
have lots of plates back in the kitchen, right?
right, and that's not why you want to be an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not fair. Right? I mean, that comes back to your question.
I want to ask, if you go to auctions, you see a lot of these male artists, their artworks are selling for really high prices, but you don't see
Even with the plate on the canvas.
Yes, exactly. But how about women's artwork? It's
There are
still-
some very, very well-known and very high-paying
but
women
compared
artists.
to men's
but
artwork,
there's
they're
more
still
male.
I think
still.
it's just easier for the man to focus on that career.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
not be distracted by anything else. Where
Yeah.
women have to think of many
taking care of
other
household
things.
and
Yeah.
taking care of kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
So-
point.
But again, I mean, is it also part of the social reason? Because guys, once again, like you
Of
said,
course.
it's a
Yes.
man's world,
Of
and then
course.
I think so.
men artists they tend to be sell more expensive,
Yeah.
and their artworks.
Yes. If you take a look of the data shows never tells a very good story.
Yeah.
It's like a study. I watched a TED show. A woman, she's a CEO. So she said mentioned a study about like 57% of boys entering the workforce, they're gonna negotiating with their first salary. but only 7% women negotiating.
You mean for the beginners in the
yeah,
career?
yeah.
Because
Women
they're
just
keen to get married and give birth,
Yeah.
and it'll be a distraction. Yeah. The same if we come back to the price of paintings. Do you think your works they're selling at the right price, or basically they're selling at a lower price compared? I mean, art is something
It's
we cannot
hard to put a
compare that
price on it.
directly.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, relatively speaking, since we're talking about prices, you know,
Yeah.
Right.
is it lower than your peer male
Yes.
artists?
yes.
Because
Do you think you can
you're a
adjust
girl.
to that price the same level and then people still buy it?
Mm. It's a good question, though.
Yes.
What if everyone just collectively
yes.
adjusts the price equally?
Right. I don't even think about
yeah, I
it.
don't think
Full
about
price?
it.
Yeah.
It's more on the
yes.
more on the higher level, the really
Yeah.
high
Yes.
level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I-
would say that we're pretty similar on the lower level.
So
but
it's
Right.
more
We're talking
like.
about the really, really famous works.
Yes.
right?
yeah.
So Cindy, is it happening now these days? Since 3 years ago, it's happening. More collectors who are women, and more buyers who are women. So is it happening that all these collectors they focus more on the work, on the artwork, rather than the gender of the artist?
Yes.
Just my opinions.
It is happening.
I mean, the hour can talk. The hour will talk,
Yes.
whether the females or is a homosexual. Okay, it's nothing about the gender. It's about the work. The work will
In
tell you
an
the story.
ideal world, yes, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the buyer or maybe the collectors or the galleries who work with, they will see how to deal with the artist. Okay, some female artists or to deal with the character. Okay, some character, male or female, they have something nice character or bad character. I think the galleries or the collectors would like to work with nice personality because the artist is a very difficult to deal with sometimes.
So it has
Sometimes,
a lot to
especially
do
male
not just about the work. It also has to do
With the,
with the personality, with the communication, with I don't know, and the way you talk.
I think we are doing our work is professionally. I mean, just like we are doing our product or our business. I think it's our concept, the way that we are thinking or the way that we are looking for is just like we are owning our own company. We have our own aim or our what we want to and how to deal with our client and how your product. We say is the product is how to the product deal with the consumer. It's something deal with the market. But I think something deal with the our is the complicated world, and complicated is not talking about the male or the female. It's talking about the work itself.
Once again, I mean, art is always a difficult area where we try to seek success, as a career. So, Kathy, do you think this is like Cindy says? It's changing. It's
Yes.
more focusing
Definitely.
on the work itself.
I think so, and I think as women become more comfortable in their skin and with who they are, they can communicate that through their artwork, and it becomes more powerful, and I think the collectors see that.
So the women's movement is happening now.
Yes,
Yes,
well,
it
it's
is.
kind
It's
of
come around.
It's come around
Yeah.
because it
In
was
the
really
West.
strong, and then it
Yeah.
kind of went underground, sort of,
Yeah.
and now
And
it's kind of coming
yeah.
back again. Because I
Right.
mean, it's constantly
Evolving.
and it's funny because if you talked about the different personalities, Cindy was talking about the different personalities. Male artists, now I'm generalizing here, are self-centered usually. They have to be because, that's artists are self-centered in the respect because you're working on your work. And female artists are also that, but not as much. And so
Yeah.
they have the more confidence to actually go in and get into places that a lot of women aren't maybe that confident of getting. But then again, when you start becoming confident in your own skin and confident as a woman and the barriers are changing, I think we are making strides, and I
do.
think it really is making a difference.
Yes.
In the West, we're seeing a lot of female-themed exhibitions.
Right.
Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think it's good to focus on all female work and then separate it based on gender, or do you think it should be all mixed in?
Well, you know, it's funny. I just had a show with 7 female artists. And some of us, my male artist friend said, oh, you should call it 7 women artists from Arizona. And he goes, because they're giving more special attention because you're all women artists, right? And one of the artists in the show said, no, I do not want there to be women on there because I want people to, and she goes, and I don't want Arizona on there because that really pigeonholes it. She just wanted it to be 7 artists. And that's something that we fight too because we don't want it to be, and I use the analogy of, you know, when you have these movies that are romantic comedy, and, you know, they're usually, we call them chick flicks. And, you know, guys were like, oh, I don't want to go see a chick flick. So it'd be, oh, I don't want to go see a show with just all women artists. So, you know, you kind of think, well, should we put women in there or not?
Interesting. Well, that leads actually to the next topic we're going to talk about. So, but before that, let's take a break first. We'll be right back.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching the keyword CGTN crossover. We'll be right back.
They put the title like young female
artist.
beauty. Like what artist? Oh,
We're fighting the same battles and the same
Yeah.
struggles, and
Yes.
you know, you're trying to create what's inside of us, and that's the life of an artist.
Or bring your feelings out onto the canvas or whatever medium you have. And I think that's what really draws us, is that we can express ourselves through the visual arts.
Welcome back to Crossover.
Welcome back. Well, just before the break, we touched a little bit upon the subject female artists tend to paint about. Now, just look around. Look around. You can't really tell which one is created by a female artist. But you know, once again, it comes back to this very question. What do you, as a female artist, what do you normally draw about? What do you paint about? So this is, well, look, it's a human, it's a girl's body, right? So this tends to be a female artist's choice.
The body.
Are there any areas or are there any subjects that tend to be created mainly more by women artists? No, there isn't an area like
Well,
that.
there are, but it was back
just-
when Judy Chicago did things like the dinner party, and she had all these dinner plates with, I don't know if I can say it, vaginas and things like that, and very embellished and stuff like this. So it was really about women's issues.
That's sending the feminine
Yes.
message
Yes.
by doing that. It's
Yeah.
more like a
Yeah.
the acting
Like,
itself
I am
is more
woman.
like an art, right?
Yeah, right. Right.
So it's not like, it's not like these days it's happening.
No.
I think
Not as
sometimes it's the exhibition is the concept. Because when someone doing the exhibition, for example, the museum or the galleries or the creators,
Right.
they have something want to talk about.
One
they want
theme.
to something,
Yeah.
a theme,
Yeah.
and they want to focus what they are looking for. Okay, and the way that they are seeing the world is sometimes is different from us. I mean, the way that the creator want. For example, next year, a creator want to talking about a show about female artists. Okay, he is looking for female artists, and the topic, for example, what is the media and blah blah blah, and he will make a list, and the show comes out. Okay, and then you will see the show. Oh, why the people talking about the female artists? Yeah, that means it's a ring of something running, and you will see some show is happening. Yeah, and maybe the world now is focused on more female artists, so you'll see more show focus on the female artists too.
But it's the curator's design intention to
Yeah.
do that,
Right.
not the artist's intention. Like Linda just said, it's you don't really want to put a label on any artwork. So you do not want to put a bunch of women artists together, say, to send a message. Hey, this is
Right.
an
They just
exhibition for
happen to
women
be
artists.
women artists, in other words. It's kind of
Yeah.
like they're artists.
Yeah,
they
we're
just
artists.
happen to be women
Yeah.
artists.
yeah.
Eva, you seem to have a lot to say about this.
I just thinking about my solo exhibition's name. The media came and they're gonna like do some advertisement or
Yes.
articles.
They need something to talk about.
Yeah, they put the title like young female
artist.
beauty, like what artist? Oh,
Say that again. Young
Young
female beauty
artist.
artist.
Yeah, I just translate into
Okay.
the English.
Right, right.
It's just it's really weird.
They make
I
the
don't
gender
really
the
want to
focal
Yeah,
point.
repose
I'm just
the
trying to figure it out in Chinese.
Why you why you mention that? Why you mention young? Okay,
To
I'm
sell.
young. Okay,
To
female.
sell. This is a business,
No,
right?
I don't want right female, and I want
Label.
beauty. What is that?
So you want it to be more pure
Yeah, just artist.
about artwork.
Just about the art.
Yeah.
About
Just
the
about the art
art.
rather
Just
than
focus
Yeah,
on
rather
my
than
gender
the
work.
role
artist,
being the
it's about the
focal
art.
point.
Yeah.
Because just not long ago last year, well, actually last year I had the chance to see an exhibition of Song Meiling's
Oh.
artwork. And before that visit, I knew about her. I knew about her being an artist, being a painter. And I thought, being a former First Lady, she would be drawing things like flowers,
Vases.
blossoming, vases, or everything, all these, the scenes that you'll be able to see at home, right? Actually, I saw lots of paintings of landscapes. It looks cleaner. I don't know if that is the right word. It looks cleaner than a painting of the same painted by maybe a male artist.
That might just be the style.
Yeah, because
Which it could
Kathy's
be-
is very
Yes.
loose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell from this one. It's not as detailed or as
Right.
it's kind of more of a.
Yes.
If you look at the horse,
Expression
yeah,
is-
So-
it's more free. It's more freely
Yeah.
expressed, right?
Right.
Yeah, so once again, it's not about the gender doesn't really have a major role to play in either the subject you choose, in the way you paint. It's all about the differences of different artists. Are there any areas you would never actually touch upon, draw maybe in your career?
Yeah, violence.
Violence.
Yeah.
Once again, that has not to do with gender issue. It's more about your
know.
values and your.
Maybe.
It's my values
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
I do think women don't always paint some of the dark subjects that men do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a little more of that though, and I don't always like just a pretty picture that
Yeah,
sometimes
that's true.
women artists are made out to paint.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to see something that's a little bit edgy, a little bit of the shadow side.
Yeah.
And I see in the West that the women are delving into that subject a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like your horse is kind of like that. Can you tell us about this horse and what it represents?
Sure. Usually when I paint, I don't have a drawing or anything, and I'm just throwing the paint on the canvas and gluing paper until I see something that might catch my eye, and then I'll carve it out or paint around it like a sculptor would to bring out the image. And then, detail. I like a lot of freedom, and to me, the symbolism of the horse is freedom and strength and power. So that's
so
why.
so you don't see like any pictures when you
No.
record.
You just kind of freely do it, right?
Yeah, it's all freely done
cool.
at the time.
I know, Eva, you take photos first and then you draw based on the photo?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, I'm doing this way because I like this way that I'm making art. I need to be touched first, so I can touch you guys, customers or collectors. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, in this studio, we have a perfect balance because we have two from America and two from China. So, Kathy and Linda, you've been in China for a few weeks. I guess did you have
5
also
weeks.
have the chance to meet with your counterparts, say Chinese women artists in
No,
China?
unfortunately, we haven't.
This is our first chance.
First chance.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm just wondering, what would be your impression of China's women artists? Or
Well, I feel like we're the same. We're the same. That we're fighting the same battles and the same
Yeah.
struggles, and
Yes.
Yes.
you're trying to create what's inside of us, and
Yes.
that's the life of an artist.
We're facing the same
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
So, Linda, about your experience, about your impression of Chinese artists and galleries.
Yeah, well, actually, it's not just Chinese. It seems like the gallery model is changing throughout the world. I don't think that I don't think galleries are really the place people go to anymore. I think it's more art fairs, and I
Right.
think it's online, and I think
yes.
it's commercial
All
spaces.
these
like-
apps.
yeah, and
Right.
for instance, Cindy does hospital work, and I'm doing work for restaurants, and I'm doing work for hotels and things like that. And so it's a commercial application of doing your own art. And but the art fairs seem to be the new
Yes.
the new
The new
way.
gallery.
It's
Yeah.
almost like you're bringing the
Right.
art outside,
Yeah.
rather than for
Right.
people waiting for people to
Yes.
go
Yes,
to the gallery
exactly.
to see the art. You
Yes.
bring it outside to public areas so people can enjoy it.
Right.
Right.
Is it also a help, to erase the gender mark because it's all going online? Basically, what you get to see is the work
Maybe.
itself. Basically,
Right. It's all about the work.
you don't really
Yeah.
draw that
Right.
direct connection between
Right.
the artist being a female and the work itself.
Yeah, it's true. I know that they used to want to not put their first initial. They just put their first initial and their last name. A lot of women artists
Right.
did that.
See.
Because they didn't want it to
Right.
know if it's male or female. But I don't think that's happening.
No.
But it's funny. I just sign it with my last name. I don't even put my
Right.
initial.
I do too. But I
Yeah.
think it's like Cindy said, it's about when we're selling our own work now more than having a gallery do it. So it's our communication with the collectors and the clients and building a relationship with them. And that helps too, I think.
Cindy, how do you see the future of women artists? Since we're talking about this,
Yeah, should be better. Yeah, should be better than before. Yeah.
since 3 years ago.
I think more than 3 years ago. More than, yeah. And,
And you've been in this industry for a long time. Do you have any advices for other women artists?
do what you can do the best.
Yeah.
I think it's like we've all agreed that, to be an artist, you're born with that. It's in your soul.
Yeah.
And you have to do it.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't do anything else. And I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll all be painting and creating until the day we die.
Just to be an artist, women
Yes.
or man, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's be a
Yeah, just be an
an
artist.
artist.
Just an artist.
Just bring your feelings out onto
Yeah.
the canvas or whatever medium you have, and I think that's what really draws us, is that we can express ourselves
Right.
through the visual arts.
Yes.
And I don't know why it's so more powerful for some than others, but
Right.
some of us are really drawn to it. And
Even if it sells way cheaper, not way cheaper, but even if your main counterpart sell more expensive, that's fine. Because
we're going to change that.
yeah, whatever is happening, if you don't like it, it's going to change.
Yeah. I guess as long as the artwork can stir up emotion, can make an impact, that's all that matters, right?
Yes. Right.
Yeah, for
As the
artists.
only guy here sitting in the studio, I'm
You have
just
to
so
agree.
happy.
You have to agree
I'm
with
just so
us.
happy to hear that. All right, ladies, thank you once again for your time, and thank you for your insights.
Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll see you again next time, and thank you for your time.
Bye.
Bye. In celebration of the establishment of the 70th anniversary of China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, Crossover takes you on an adventure to the grassland in the northern steppes. Follow us to check out how ethnic Mongolians live their lives and what they are doing to preserve their identity. Don't miss out on this special episode.